I grew up in New Jersey, in the Trenton area.
Right. And were you involved in any school athletics while you were growing up?
I was. Basketball, track, tennis. That's about it. No softball at that time. I moved to Florida in 1979. I was in New Jersey till right after high school. I stayed there for 4 years. I went to Trenton State College. And then I moved up to the Boston Wellesley area to get my MBA at Babson College. I've done a lot of numerous things. I started out as a high school math teacher, and then I went to get my MBA in accounting and finance, and another degree from FAU down here once I moved down here in computer science. So I had been in the audit area for quite a while. I worked for the General Accounting Office, which is a branch of Congress. I worked for Price Waterhouse in Boston. I also was the director of internal auditing for the South Florida Water Management District and First American Bank and Trust. I've been retired for about 20 years. So I was in the audit area, and then once I left, I started my own business because I am a CPA and certified financial planner, and I had all the investment licensing, as well.
So when you moved here, did you become involved in any athletics?
I did, right. I played tennis, and then I started to play softball. I'm from Palm Beach County. I live in Wellington, so I played there. I organized teams. I played on the women's teams and co-ed for a number of years.
I mean, there were opportunities throughout that whole time for women, certainly, to be able to do those kinds of sports that was not.
No, it wasn't an issue. I found for myself that I've never really had any problems or discrimination as far as playing in sports. Co-ed, I organized and managed teams. It just wasn't an issue. We all loved to play, and we socialized afterwards. So for me, it's really been a non-issue. I was trying to remember if someone told me about it or if I saw an advertisement. I liked the idea that it was on Sundays instead of during the week if you're working, you wanted to do other things, and it sounded very social. So I decided it was the second week after they had started the women's program, SFAAA did, at Mills Pond Park. So I came down to check it out, tryouts. There were only a few women's teams at that time. And so I got on a team, the Legends team, and started to play.
And I'm just curious whether you had any interaction with any of the male players at any of the games or in any league activities.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, afterwards, everyone would go out, like Georgie's Alibi, and it's very social. And of course, at Mills Pond Park, they've got the concession stand there with the beverages, and everyone would hang out. So all day, it was an all day, thing. It was a lot of fun. But because you have sponsors, you want to support your sponsors. Right. So we would have socials. They would rotate the socials, and everybody was, invited, after the games, to that. So that's how all the, the mixing, occurred. And of course, Georgie's Alibi was a huge, supporter back then. I was trying to remember, because, those establishments change, over time. They kind of came and went. Sure. But he was very supportive. Cathoid Ray was another one. That was a team that I played on for a little while. Yeah, it was one of the beginning sponsors, as was Georgie's on the women's, program. I played for Legends, which was a restaurant right down from Mills Pond. It was Idania. She was the owner, of that. So that was the first, team when I came down in March 1999. She was one of the sponsors. So there were a lot of places to go and hang out and, meet new people.
And what did you enjoy about the league? I mean, what gave you pleasure about being able to participate in sports?
Well, it was, for me, I quickly got onto the board. So I think the following year, I was the assistant commissioner for a few months because Tiffany King, who was the first women's commissioner, because Dave Liddy was really instrumental in starting the women's program. And then, he went through the motions of being able to, add a few board members, at that time. So she was here. I think then she moved to Orlando. So I was the assistant commissioner. And then I moved into the women's commissioner role until right after the 2006 World Series. I was on that board also with Chuck Dima, Paul Falcone, Ernie Schlegel, a few others. So I was very much involved. I'm not sure how it happened. I think maybe I just love the sport so much. I wanted to do something for the community, and I felt that I could contribute. And since it was, ground, we were starting out, and just helping, establish the processes, and because of my background, the finances and helping, get the federal, the 990, get all of that in place, and so there are a lot of things that I felt that I was able to contribute, and I love the sport. It's like we all have something we're kind of a fanatic about, and so softball was just, my thing. And then the social aspect of it. It was just a lot of fun with your team, hanging out and going to parties and traveling, together. So that's really what it encompassed. The league, when I came, since it was only a couple of teams, I actually grew it to 24 women's teams. And I did that by kind of hanging out, like the Sea Monster, a lot of places, End Up, you name it, I was there. Flamingo Bar, which wasn't around real long. Which was over in Pompano. I just tried to find all the different women's sponsors and men's sponsors. We had those, as well to help us out. So it was a lot of late night, recruiting. That's a lot of people, 24 teams. Probably in 2004 or 5. That's how many teams that we had. So I grew up pretty quickly. So that was a lot of fun. That was a big challenge, to do that. For me personally, I was already in a relationship, so I wasn't coming down here to meet someone. I was in a 27-year relationship, so a little bit later on, she came down and played. And then we started a league up in West Palm Beach, a softball league for a few years, once I, moved on from here.
Probably other people, if you did meet people.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I still see people today, thank you. They're married, they have children, thanking me for, just putting it all together in West Palm Beach and down here, because they made a lot of long-term relationships. And fantastic. I feel like I accomplished something. I was able to, to help people and build a community. That was really the whole idea behind it. In West Palm Beach, for example, there wasn't really any place that the women could go to socialize and meet new people if they wanted to date or friends or go bike riding or whatever it was. There was a big need, for that. And it just takes, someone who wants to spend their time and has the organizing skills and I think knows how to go about that and getting, others, to come on board, with it, to do it. So that's really the drive behind it.
Are you still involved?
No, I'm not. Right now I'm doing, I stopped playing softball, oh gosh, it was probably about 4 or 5 years ago. Once I moved up to, I've lived in the Wellington area. I would drive down here, it's like 65 minutes one way, all the meetings and everything, for years. But once I established the league, up there, what I decided was I got on the ASANA board, which is the equivalent of the NAGAAA board, on the women's program. So once in Seattle they split, I was on that board for about 7 years. I was also the Hall of Fame, ASANA Hall of Fame chair for about 10 years. So I became more involved at national level, running tournaments and trying to find other cities that wanted to join our program, to do the same thing that many of us, had done already. So right now I'm playing pickleball and golf. I've picked golf up because I have to swing something. So I'm playing golf. In the school programs, there really wasn't slow pitch softball anymore, it's fast pitch. And for some reason, many of the kids, when they're getting out of school, had an aversion to slow pitch softball. But there was not fast pitch, for them once they reached the age of 18. Now, up in my area at Lake Lidle, they were starting a program for the girls who wanted to try to do that. But once you were done with fast pitch, it was either you went to college and played, or you were done, because there was no recreational program, for them. And some of them did decide to try to play slow pitch, but many of them didn't.
What's the difference between slow pitch and fast pitch?
Well, the difference is, like with baseball, when you're playing baseball, even though it's overhead, that ball comes really fast. And in fast pitch, it's all underneath. It's a little closer, but that ball's coming over probably just as fast as some of the baseball players, are. Slow pitch is more of a slower, like that. The stance, how you stand is different. You can't steal. Well, there is a program in slow pitch where you can steal. I think it's called ISSA or something, if that's still around. You can't steal. There's some differences, with it. There's 3 outfielders versus 4 outfielders. So yeah, it's a different kind of thing. So it's a little hard. It was kind of like me going from slow pitch softball to golf. So, the girls going from fast pitch to slow pitch, as well. When I had some co-ed teams up in West Palm, I actually had some minor league players there that were on my team when I was recruiting, because, I was competitive. If I was going to do co-ed, I want to be competitive. And, they would try to swing so hard, but they finally got the knack of it, and they were hitting the ball, out of the ballpark. So I think it's an easier transition for men if they played in high school, or in college, than the fast pitch for the girls. I think what I gained was just, the trial and error of taking on so many huge, projects, and just, I'm a person, if I start something, I'm going to finish it. I think this is fantastic, that we're getting this history, together of the softball league, and there have been so many players and components involved, and it's a huge part of this community, and it's needed. I mean, people need a place where they can feel comfortable, and they can be, themselves, because the world, as much as we think it's there, and we're still seeing more even today, that we're stepping somewhat backwards. We don't want to lose history. I think what we're seeing currently is in some of these other government programs, they're now eliminating this, they're taking these off the websites and taking that off the website. We can't let that happen. We need to be able to document this and show those who are growing up that this is what you can do, and this is the way, life was and life is.